In 1783, just as the fires of the Laki eruption had plunged all of Europe into ashen darkness, a horde of demons spilled from the shadows and fell upon city after English city.
Number 1. Welcome back, everyone. Meanpooh here, and this is 5 among the best RPGs to play on the Acer Nitro 5. All of the games will be able to run maxed out, while one has to be scaled back. The games will be running undervolted with a CPU core and CPU cache offset of -115.2. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a Metroidvania type of game and will have you exploring an entanglement of rooms. The game is presented in a 2.5D style. You'll be fighting monsters and bosses while gaining keys and powers that let you explore previous areas that were inaccessible. The main protagonist and playable character, Miriam, is able to use various weapons to perform melee or ranged attacks to defeat monsters. You can use your special abilities granted by the shards gained from monsters to perform magical attacks. Miriam has both a health bar and a magic power bar. Health is lost to a monster and environmental attacks, and should this drop to 0, the game is over, requiring you to load the last save state. Health can be restored by using items or finding health drops from monsters or environmental pieces. Magic power is drained by using shard skills, and if out of mana, it can be similarly regained as with health. You will acquire new weapons, armor, and accessories throughout the game by defeating monsters and in chests. The equipment provides various attributes to Miriam along with offensive and defensive bonuses. For weapons, this also sets the type of attacks that you can make. For example, short swords allow a variety of fast, close-ranged attacks. Spears enable slow but long-reaching attacks, and bows and arrows allow for long-distance shots but with no melee possibilities. In each of the 8 categories of weapons, there are multiple versions, with each having different attack damage and special abilities. The weapons will be named differently and not have titles such as Weapon 1, Weapon 2, etc. They have names such as Main Gouge, Sword Breaker, Charcour, and many more. Among the maze of rooms you will enter, there are save rooms, allowing you to save your game and fully regenerate Miriam's health and magic power. Additionally, warp rooms allow you to quick jump from one region of the map to another previously discovered warp room. During your gameplay, you will be able to use another character named Zangetsu. He is a demon hunter samurai. He lost some loved ones, he's lost his left eye and his right arm, and he's pretty much hell-bent on revenge. He's lost a lot of his body, okay, enough. He is actively trying to end both demons and alchemists that have brought them into the world. He will definitely come in handy as there are a lot of enemies in the game. There's one called Cannon Mortis who launches a fireball from its opening in the designated direction it's pointing and can change directions if you move. A gargoyle can shoot a petrifying beam. Assassins can fling daggers. And let's not forget, most of these games have a silver wolfman that can attack you with his claws. There are many more enemies, but you will have to play the game to see them. In your adventures, you will explore many areas. The first being the Galleon Minerva, which is a ship that serves as the basic movement and combat tutorial for the game. You will fight against low-level enemies such as Semas and Mortis, one that I mentioned earlier. After you venture to the entrance of Gabel's castle, it will offer a more variety of enemies that you'll face. This area is full of stone and marble corridors, which feature some armored enemies and portraits. There's even one called Infernal Cave, which is full of dragons and magma. Make sure you bring some healing because most likely you're going to need it. There are many more until you finally face the final boss, Baal. Let's just say when you make it, there will be many heads around you. If you are a fan of Metroid or Castlevania, specifically Symphony of the Night, I don't think you will be disappointed with this game, because the game's development was led by former Castlevania series producer Koji Igarashi. Expect to spend in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 hours to complete the game.
Saw it. Just a flicker.
Number 2. Divinity Original Sin 2 is an isometric fantasy RPG with tactical turn-based combat and a highly interactive world. It is set in the world of Revelin, centuries after Divinity Original Sin. Living beings on Revelin have a form of energy known as Source, and individuals called sorcerers can manipulate Source to cast spells or enhance their combat abilities. After selecting the type of game and difficulty, you will be at the character creation screen. There are several pre-scripted characters you can choose as your main character. However, you can create your own character as you like. There are 5 different races such as humans, elves, dwarves, lizards, and undead. Lizards, who are of the ancient empire, are cultured aristocrats, and source adepts who follow the rules of law. Outsiders see their society as elitists, and lizards see outsiders as servants. You can clearly see this when meeting the Red Prince for the first time. Elves are elegant and long-lived. They are skilled sorcerers, and memory is the keystone of the elven culture. They have an ability called Corpse Eater that lets them absorb memories by consuming the flesh of others. There are 14 classes to choose from in Divinity Original Sin 2. For example, we have Rangers, who are marksmen, rogues, shadow blades, wayfarers, witches, knights, and 9 others. With all that said, there is a lot going on that you have to contend with and keep track of. You have skills that can be obtained by reading skill books, crafting books, and some can be found in equipment. Skills can also be crafted. Speaking of skills, there are a ton of skills in Divinity broken down into 12 categories. We have Geomancer, which allows you to harness the power of Earth, Necromancer, which have skills such as Bloodsucker, Raise Bloated Corpse, and Infect, and they pretty much do as the title says. Next up is Polymorph, Summoning, and many more. Some of these categories have 22 skills, so you may have to get your reading game on. At the start of the game, your character is a sorcerer who is captured by the Divine Order and sent to an island fortress known as Fort Joy. Fort Joy is a prison for sorcerers, and apparently is trying to cure them of their source powers, but in actuality purging the sorcerers to turn them into mindless zombies or husks or whatever you want to call them. People pretty much with no feeling and doing as they are told, sort of like the character on the game Dragon Age. During the journey to Fort Joy, a gigantic kraken, Voidwaken, attacks the ship and sinks it. You wake up on the shores of Fort Joy and will encounter some enemies such as the vicious voidling. They sort of look like silverfish or roaches, but huge. If you play your cards right, you will make quick work of them and finally meet a character to add to your party. Soon enough, you make it to the city, and there you'll find all kinds of quests and enemies to encounter. You make some friends, and will soon find a way to get that necklace off your neck so you can really use your powers. Companions in your party are fully playable, and will potentially have different interactions with the environment and NPCs than your character. You will be able to split up and individually control your party members, leading to potentially complex battle tactics as well as excellent role-playing opportunities. The game features both online and local multiplayer modes. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a feature-rich game that is easy to lose track of time and completely get immersed in its characters and writing. It will constantly test your own creativity and force you to question your own decisions, while giving you many reasons to continue playing and never lets up. Expect to spend an average of 52 hours on the main story.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
Said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? Low, sir.
Strange lizard, gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep.
Broken no more. Your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Glory is mine.
Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are. Lead the way.
Fort Joys.
The delivery.
What a
Surely you'll
crumbling
have one.
disaster.
Scram, snake face. Shut up, elf.
This clown? Caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist.
Wait, look at that. Just what I ordered. Ain't you a peach, love? An old deed here. Poor fella over there crossed one of Griff's card sharks and got a club to the skull. Dumb to be sure, but I'd like to ease his way out.
screwed on and your wires in a row. Do you hear me? Ugh! Where does the yarrow grow? Where?
I will yield to none.
Number 3. Dragon Age Origins is a role-playing game that has your character as a Grey Warden, part of an order of elite fighters whose task is to defeat the Archdemon and save the world from a disastrous event called the Blight. Developed by BioWare when they were actually good, is a single-player third-person RPG. When you design your character, you will only be able to pick from 3 classes: Warriors, which are the frontline fighters and the backbone of any party under assault. They rely on melee and ranged weapons, supplemented by powerful special abilities that draw from deep reserves of stamina. Some of their specializations are Berserker, Reaver, Champion, Templar, and Reavers, which are terrifying fighters who are driven by the pain and fear of their enemies. Rogues are crafty combatants who succeed in battle by combining speed, subterfuge, and a wide range of abilities to bring their opponents down in unexpected ways, sometimes before the enemy even perceives danger. Within this class is the Assassin, Bard, Ranger, and Duelist, which are cunning fighters who recognize the value in crippling their foes instead of just mindlessly charging in. Mages are able to interact with the forces of magic, using different elemental powers. As a class, mages focus on spells in order to deliver damage and debilitate their enemies, as well as support and heal their allies. Within this class, there's Arcane Warrior, Blood Mage, who pursue magic that grants them great power by using blood to fuel their spells, Shapeshifter, and Spirit Healer, who draw on the help of the benevolent spirits of the Fade to focus on healing their allies. Like many typical RPGs, you have the option to pick between 3 races. Dwarves are one of the major humanoid races of the Dragon Age setting. Strong, stocky, and shorter than any other humanoid race, the dwarves are skilled builders and boast a long tradition of courage and martial skill that have served them well in their millennia-long battle against the Darkspawn. Elves, who are shorter than humans, have a slender build with large eyes and pointed ears. They are mostly associated with poverty, crime, and barbarism, and are often used as scapegoats for humanity's difficulties. Lastly, we have humans, and I hope you know what they are. Anyway, picking a human race will grant you a +1 strength, +1 dexterity, +1 magic, and +1 cunning starting out. During gameplay, you will encounter a variety of enemies including giant spiders, darkspawn, ghosts, walking trees, and dragons. On your journey, you will recruit companions who will provide assistance in battle. These companions are normally controlled by the game's AI with behavior that you can adjust through the tactics menu. You also have the option to switch between the characters and issue orders to them in real time, or pause the game to queue up actions. During battle, you can swap weapons and perform special attacks, with most having a recharge time. At the end of battle, your character's health and stamina, which powers your skills, are automatically refilled. When an enemy is defeated, you can collect any items or loot from its corpse. You can level up your Warden character by earning experience points through completing quests and defeating enemies. Each time you level up, you will receive 3 points to spend on the character's 6 attributes. The listings are Strength, which inflicts more damage, Dexterity, which will help you evade attacks more often, Willpower will increase your stamina, Magic will increase your spell damage or magic defense, Cunning will improve your combat tactics, and Constitution will help you withstand attacks. There's also special skills, which are divided into 4 different aspects for each class and specialization options. They offer class-specific skills and can also be unlocked by leveling up. You can talk and interact with both party members and other NPCs. A dialogue tree offers several dialogue options for you to select. Through conversation, you can unlock unique quests and can be used to persuade or intimidate other characters. Most of the time, you must choose between morally ambiguous options, which result in consequences that can affect the game's world and progression, which can even lead to the death of a potential companion. BioWare described Dragon Age Origins as a dark heroic fantasy set in a unique world, and a spiritual successor to their previous Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights franchises. And sometimes you can tell, but in my opinion, I think Divinity Original Sin 2 can take the credit. Regardless of my opinion though, Dragon Age is a great story-driven game to sink some hours into if you have some to spare. The combat can get confusing at times with the pause button and all, and sometimes I can't tell if my character is following the parameters I have set up on the tactics screen. Wrapping up, if you do play this game, don't come for the graphics. Come for the story, and I think you'll be surprised.
Soon I shall see the land of the living with your eyes, creature. You shall be mine, body and soul.
Let's get started. Have at you!
What? Yes, of course. I mean, I think I was. Isn't that enough? It should be enough. For you?
Maybe they are right about you. Simple killing is a warrior's job. The real dangers of the Fade are preconceptions, careless trust, pride.
This morning, I didn't even realize you'd been gone all night. I've heard about apprentices who never come back from harrowings. Is it really that dangerous? What was it like? I've been here longer than you have. Sometimes I think they just don't want to test me.
Hope you've spoken to the first enchanter. He seems eager to see you.
Put the sheet. If I put all my power behind that spell, you would have been obliterated. I am not your enemy.
My name is Owain. How may I assist you? The stockroom stores components used in magical and alchemical experiments. Do you require something?
Hello. Congratulations on your harrowing last night. Good work. Ah, the fraternities of the enchanters. You probably haven't heard of them. It's best not to get tangled up in circle politics.
Third floor is off limits till dinner time. First enchanter's orders.
Many have already gone to Ostagar. Wynne, Aldred, and most of the senior mages. We've committed enough of our own to this war effort.
Your own? Since when have you felt such kinship with the mages, Gregor? Or are you afraid to let the mages out from under Chantry supervision, where they can actually use their Maker-given powers?
The Darkspawn threat grows in the south. We need all the help we can get.
I'm glad I caught up to you. Are you done talking with Irving? I've been troubled. I'll explain. Come with me, please.
You can see why we wish to keep it a secret.
Lily's been given to the Chantry. She's not allowed to have relations with men. If anyone finds out, we'll both be in trouble. I wish that was the only thing I needed to talk about. Remember I said that I didn't think they wanted to give me my harrowing? I know why. They're going to make me tranquil.
I could use some, I'm sure. I've been too busy with my new duties. I haven't been able to deal with the spiders. If you cleared them out for me, I would owe you a favor.
As you wish. Is it just me, or do you actually think you have a check? Let's get started.
And I suppose his lady friend is involved. Yes, she must be helping him. She would know more about the repository than he would. Do you know anything else? Will be rewarded.
Lily, something's not right. I can't cast spells here. Nothing works.
These wards carved into the stone. This must be the Templars' work. They negate any magic cast within this area.
Fear is your weakness. This should be easy enough. On.
This tiny vial stands between me and freedom. So fragile. So easy just to be rid of it. To end its hold over me. We did it! I can't believe it! Thank you. We could never have...
So what you said was true,
Gregor.
An initiate conspiring with a blood mage. I'm disappointed, Lily. She seems shocked, but fully in control of her own mind. Not a thrall of the blood mage, then. You were right, Irving. The initiate has betrayed us. The Chantry will not let this go unpunished. The Templars here assembled, I sentence this blood mage to death. And this initiate has scorned the Chantry and her vows. Take her to Aenar.
The mage's prison. No. Please, no. Not there.
No! I won't let you touch her!
Joan, it corrupts people. Changes them.
I'm going to give it up. All magic. I just want to be with you, Lily. Please, come with me.
I trusted you. I was ready to sacrifice everything.
I never thought him capable of such power.
None of us expected this. Are you all right, Gregor?
As good as can be expected given the circumstances. If you had let me act sooner, this would not have happened. Now we have a blood mage on the loose and no way to track him down. You've promised him a new Grey Warden?
He has served the Circle well.
Rhaegar, mages are needed. This mage is needed. Worse things plague this world than blood mages. You know that. I take this young mage under my wing and bear all responsibility for his actions.
The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is he?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
There's no need to be so formal, Duncan. We'll be shedding blood together after all. I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week. By now they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the... Yes, we should proceed with the ritual. Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. You may find me at the Grey Warden tent on the other side of this bridge, should you need to.
Number 4. In 2183, shortly after the events of the first game, the SSV Normandy, while patrolling the Geth Resistance, is attacked by an unknown vessel, forcing the crew to abandon ship. Shepard pushes Joker into the final escape pod before blasted into space. After a suit breach, Shepard dies via asphyxiation, and his body is pulled into the orbit of a nearby planet. The body is recovered by Cerberus, who begins the Lazarus Project with the sole purpose of bringing Shepard back to life. 2 years later, Shepard is revived on an operating table and escapes a research station under attack by its own security mechs alongside Jacob Taylor and Miranda Lawson. Shepard is brought to meet the elusive man, who reveals that the entire population of human colonies have been disappearing all over the galaxy. Now working for Cerberus, Shepard is sent to investigate a recently attacked colony, where he finds clues suggesting that the Reapers are working by proxy through an insectoid species called the Collectors. Mass Effect 2 is a single-player action RPG in which you take the role of Commander Shepard from a third-person perspective. Shepard's gender, appearance, military background, combat training, and first name are determined by you before starting the game. The game features 6 different character classes for you to choose from. Each class is proficient in a different set of powers and weapon types. For example, the Vanguard class is specialized in close-range combat and shotguns, while the Infiltrator class relies on stealth combat and the use of sniper rifles. The game's overworld is a galaxy map that you can explore to find and complete quests. Most quests consist of combat missions, but some involve you interacting with NPCs during visits to settlements. As you progress through the game, different locations and new squad members become available. Experience points are gained by completing quests. Each time a sufficient amount of experience is obtained, you will level up and are awarded squad points that can be used to develop powers for both Shepard and the members of the squad. Powers provide enhanced combat capabilities, with each power having 4 ranks that can be unlocked. Your primary mode of transportation is a starship, which serves as Shepard's base of operations. Aboard the ship, you can interact with the squad members, customize your armor, travel to numerous planetary systems, and scan planets for mineral resources. These resources allow you to research numerous in-game upgrades that are found in the missions, providing benefits such as increasing weapon damage, fortifying your health, or extending the ship's fuel capacity, among others. Combat in Mass Effect 2 is squad-based, and a maximum of 2 squad members may accompany you on the battlefield. You have direct control of Shepard, while the squad members are controlled by the game's AI. Battles take place in real time, but you have the option to pause the action at any time to target enemies and select different powers for the squad members to use. The game uses an over-the-shoulder perspective and will have you utilizing cover to avoid taking damage while fighting enemy forces. You may also issue commands to the squad members, such as sending them to take cover behind a manually picked object or focus their fire on a designated target. Shepard and the squad members are protected by a damage-absorbing shield. When the shield is fully depleted, further damage reduces the hit points of a secondary health meter. Both the shield bar and the health meter automatically regenerate when not taking fire for a brief period. You can revive fallen squad members with the use of the Unity power. However, if Shepard dies, you must start the game again from the last save point. All enemies are protected by health, shields, armor, barriers, or a combination of the previous. During conversations with characters, Mass Effect 2 employs a radio command menu called the dialogue wheel, in which your dialogue options depend on the wheel direction. The left side of the wheel is normally reserved for options that will continue the conversation in depth, while options on the right side tend to move the conversation towards completion. Responses at the top are generally more polite and selfless, while those on the bottom are more aggressive and hostile. On your mission to create the best team possible, you have many to join you. Some you may be able to fall in love with and create a relationship. Others you will create a bond and would hate to lose them, in which will make you try to choose the best option while making dialogue choices. Some of these are the human Cerberus operative Jacob Taylor, Cerberus officer Miranda Lawson, Solarian scientist Morton Solus, Turian vigilante Garrus Vakarian, human criminal Jack, genetically engineered Krogan and super soldier Grunt, Quarian engineer Tali Zora, Drell assassin Thane Krios, Asari Justicar, Samara, or depending on your choice, you may have Samara's daughter named Morinth. I think I pronounced it right. Morinth? Well, you know, Morinth, Morinth. Some people pronounce it different, but you know, I'm just pronouncing it how I see it. You also have the Geth mobile platform Legion and the Normandy's pilot Jeff Joker Monroe. We also have the Normandy SR2's Enhanced Defense Intelligence, also known as EDI. And lastly, we have Cerberus leader, the Elusive Man, which won't be on the ship, but is there for support and mission updates. Mass Effect is another one of those games that should be on your list and in your library. The character models are very well done and still look spectacular today. The music will draw you in and has that futuristic sound with heavy mystery tone. To me, the music is bigger than the game, and it puts you in the mood even further when making important dialogue choices. I can't really say enough of the tracks other than I believe you will enjoy it a lot in the game. I liked it so much that I bought the soundtrack. Although you can listen to it on YouTube, it's not the same quality. If you've never played Mass Effect and only watched playthroughs, you really owe it to yourself to try it out yourself. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you play this game, expect to spend around 30 or so hours to complete the main story. It also has DLC.
Stop right there! Praza, you said you'd let me handle this. Wait, Shepard?
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
Put those weapons down! Shepard? Is that... you're alive?
Cerberus rebuilt me, Tali. In return, they asked me to investigate these attacks on human colonies.
One of our people was here on pilgrimage. His name was Vitor. We came to find him.
Vitor first.
Get your squad into cover and I'll open the loading bay doors.
swarms. Have to hide. No monsters. No swarms. No.
I don't think he can hear you, Commander.
Who's this? They only told me last night. It's good to be home, huh, Commander?
I guess we'll have to give her a name.
Welcome aboard the New Normandy, Commander.
Get it out of the way so we can concentrate on being big goddamn heroes. I better turn this thing in before it starts to stink. I'll be locked and loaded next time you're ready to get some killing done.
Are you expecting me?
Inside of your colon.
I'd almost pay to see that, but it's not an option. You want to talk, you get scanned.
Make it quick.
What's the rush?
I was told you're the person to talk to if I have questions.
They're clean.
Depends on the questions.
You run Omega?
I am Omega.
I just have a few questions about the operation.
Get this scum out of my face! Sergeant Kafka. You must be the group Salky mentioned. You're just in time.
Were you waiting for us?
Sir, again.
You're working too hard.
Much time.
Well, let's not wait around too long.
What are you doing here?
Good to see you too.
I'm just surprised to see you.
You and me both. They'll slaughter us if we try to get out that way.
So we just sit here and wait for them to take us out?
It's not all that bad. This place has held them off so far. Team failed. Take a look. Scouts. Eclipse, I think.
More than scouts. One less now, though.
Indeed.
I got it.
I want something done properly. All right, let's see how you handle this, Archangel. Go!
Damn it. They're sending out the heavy mechs.
That problem should take care of itself.
I'll keep the bridge clear.
We're on our way.
Go down a level. The basement door's on the west side of the main room behind the stairs. I'll radio directions if you need help.
Come on over!
Number 5. A world in turmoil, and the worst is yet to come. The world is in chaos. The air is thick with tension and smoke of burned villages. The fearsome Nilfgaardian Empire has struck again, ravaging the hapless northern kingdoms. The once mighty who tried to use Geralt are dead or gone. These are uncertain times, and no one can say who will rise or fall, who will bring peace to the world, and who will bring only misery. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the final installment of the highly acclaimed modern RPG saga. It is an action RPG with a third-person perspective in which you control Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter known as a Witcher. Geralt will be doing a lot of walking in the game. Likewise, he can also run and swim. When in battle, you'll also have the roll and dodge option. When you are exploring the land, the option to jump as well as climbing will be very important. He has a variety of weapons including bombs, a crossbow, and 2 swords, one steel and one silver. The steel sword is primarily used to kill humans, while the silver sword is more effective against creatures and monsters. You can draw out, switch, and sheath your swords at will. There are 2 modes of melee attack. Light attacks are fast but weak, and heavy attacks are slow and strong. You can block and counter enemy attacks with your swords, just hitting the button at the right time. Swords also have a limited endurance and require regular repair. In addition to physical attacks, Geralt has 5 magical signs at his disposal: Eard, Axii, Igni, Yarden, and Quen. Eard prompts Geralt to unleash a telekinetic blast, which pushes the enemy out of the way. Axii confuses an enemy. Igni can burn them and sometimes kill them instantly. Yarden slows them down, and Quen offers you a temporary protective shield which will come in handy, especially if you are low on health. The signs use stamina and cannot be used indefinitely. You can use mutagens to increase Geralt's magic power. Health can be restored with meditation or consumables such as food and potions. You occasionally control Ciri, Geralt's adoptive daughter, who can teleport short distances. The game has advanced artificial intelligence, and dynamic environments. Enemies just don't come running towards you. Some will try to lure you to them for a possible ambush. I found myself just standing on a hillside, either watching the sunrise or just checking out the rain. It looks amazing. The day and night cycles make the game world feel more real because it just seems more natural. These cycles also affect you during certain times of the day. You may regain health faster. Likewise, enemies are affected. Some get even more powerful during the night and pose an even greater threat than they may not have had before. If you think you may have some difficulty fighting a large boss, you may have some information on it in the game's bestiary. Sometimes it will have information on weaknesses that you may be able to use to your advantage. When you kill an enemy, you can loot its corpse for valuables, and some even have pelts that you can sell to vendors. When roaming the land, you will come across all kinds of enemies. Some humans, but mostly beasts. You have bears, wolves, forktails, golems, drowners, ice giants, griffins, and something called a rot fiend, which resemble decomposing human bodies that have been stripped of their skin. Yikes! Ugh! Geralt's Witcher senses enabled you to find objects of interest, including items that can be collected or scavenged. Items are stored in the inventory, which can be expanded by purchasing upgrades. You can sell items to vendors or use them to craft potions and bombs. You can also visit blacksmiths to craft new weapons and armor with what you have gathered. The price of an item and the cost of crafting it depends on the region's local economy. The game focuses on narrative and has a dialogue wheel which allows you to choose how to respond to non-playable characters. Geralt must make decisions which change the state of the world and lead to 36 possible endings affecting the lives of in-game characters. He can have a romantic relationship with some of the game's female characters by completing certain quests. In addition to the main quests, books offer more information on the game's world. You can begin side quests after visiting a town's notice board. These side missions include Witcher contracts, which are elaborate missions requiring you to hunt monsters, and treasure hunt quests, which reward you with top-tier weapons and armor. You earn experience points by completing missions, and when you earn enough experience, Geralt's level increases and you'll receive ability points. These points may be used on 4 skill trees: combat, signs, alchemy, and general. Combat upgrades enhance Geralt's attacks and unlock new fighting techniques. Signs upgrades enable him to use magic more efficiently. Alchemy upgrades improve crafting abilities. And general upgrades have a variety of functions, from raising Geralt's vitality to increasing crossbow damage. The game's open world is divided into several regions. Geralt can explore each region on foot or by transportation such as a boat. Brooch, his horse, may be summoned at will to provide a faster mode of travel. You can also kill enemies with your sword while riding Roach, but be careful as enemy presence may frighten Roach and unseat you. While riding Roach and fighting an enemy, I found it easy to swing at the enemy, but hitting them is an entirely different story. I've just found it easier just to get off the horse and start attacking the enemy on foot. Maybe I just need more practice. Anyway, points of interest may be found on the map, and you can receive experience points after completing many missions in these regions. You can discover places of power for additional ability points, which can help you in battle. Other activities include horse racing, boxing, and Gwent, which is a card-playing game. The Witcher 3 is a beautiful RPG, and the developers say it's built from the ground up for modern PC hardware. Spectacular cutscenes interwoven with gameplay heighten excitement while progressing the story. In-game conversations are natural and realistic thanks to the cinematic camera work of the developers. Presentation of the game world is thoroughly realistic. It features dynamic light and shadow effects throughout the game world, and in turn provides a deep role-playing experience through visually attractive film-like presentation. With this installed, I have the HD Rework Project mod version 5.1, which increases texture quality, but not for everything. If you want to get more FPS, just drop the resolution down to 1600 by 900 and you should see a boost. This is the only game that I could not run maxed out, and I can understand why. I believe it's pushing with everything it has to bring you the best experience you can get. Even if you are not an action RPG fan, you really should have this in your library, as the story is top notch as well as the characters. One thing, did you notice people hawking and spitting when you walk by or stop to ask them questions? That's hilarious, but also shows the dislike and prejudice some have against Witchers. Expect to spend an average of 53 hours to complete the main story. That's nasty, right? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these 5 games that are among the best RPGs to play on the Acer Nitro 5. In closing, if the video helped you, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you would like to know the hardware that I am playing these games on, I have it in the description box right below. It's below in the little box. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Meanpooh, out.
I think those plums are wreaking havoc on my gut.
That is, it'll come kill me daughter.
Fine, I'll help. Where's this well?
In Havel, a settlement on the heights. It's abandoned now. No one ventures there on account of the ghost being about. Drive it off, please.
You, Mislav?
Shh! Hear that?
Wolves? No. Wild dogs.
Yes. More dangerous than wolves.
Dieter. You know him?
We served at the Lord's Manor together, where the Black Army's encamped now.
Griffin's nest. What remains of it, at least. Corpse is a couple of weeks old. Still alive when the Griffin brought him here. Took a long time dying. Female. Larvae in her wounds have already hatched. Been dead at least a week. Other Griffin must be a male. Deep cuts over the whole body. Not a drop of blood on the beak or claws. Should talk to Vesemir.
What else could he want from 2 witchers? Go on. Tell me what you know.
Griffin's abandoned its lair. Gotta make a lure, set a trap.
And how's that going?
Learned some things. It's a male, had its nest in the Vulpine Woods. The Nilfgaard
about witches, but I've always known yours to be an honorable guild.
So you managed to salvage some goods?
Yes, but I await the repair of my wagon. As time passes, my losses grow. Do you need something? I'll let it go half-free.
A man, stabbed with a knife, died on the spot. Animals fed on his body, picked his skeleton clean. More bloodstains over there. But it's not his blood. Palm prints in blood. Small hands. A woman's. Someone dragged her out. She was wounded. Fought for her life. No body in sight, but might still find some tracks. Under the right conditions, bloodstains can remain visible for decades. Need to cremate the remains. Gotta find the object that binds her to this place before I do, though. Lucky not to come up empty-handed. A bracelet with an inscription. To Claire, from Volker. Bracelet must have belonged to the woman in the well. Lovely craftsmanship, but I'll have to burn it with the body to get rid of the Noonwraith for good. And the bracelet. Igni. Hey, I think it worked. She's gone. For good. Do that often? Talk to your dog?
It's my brother's, Bastion's. But I guess he's mine now. You're here, good. Bastion. His body must be here somewhere.
Among countless others. Want to examine them one by one?
Across the Pontar in the east. Puts them maybe a week's march from Kaer Morhen. If they reach the valley before snows can cover the passes, well, we need to cover our tracks, hide our paths. Speaking of winter and wintering, think you'll come this year?
Maybe.
Hear that? It's closed.
Let's go give it a warm welcome.
Wait, take this.
crossbow.
Won it in a card game while you ran around. Might come in handy.
How about that? Always lectured us on the evils, but you're a gambler yourself.
Stop.
Watch out!
It's fast! Not bad. Not bad. Though you could stand to improve some things.
Man spends his whole life learning.
Not a Witcher, unless he doesn't want to live long. But more on that later. Take the Griffin's head to the Black Ones. I'll ready our horses. Meet me at the inn.